Hey everybody, so I thought I would make a video on how I store and protect my oil pastel artwork that I do on paper. And this is an example of one that's been covered with glassine paper. And this is on a piece of pastel mat. And I'll show you one here. Now this one is a recent painting that I did. I'll just show you. Okay, so obviously there's no fixative on it, but I want to store this without damaging the surface, without damaging the oil pastel on it. And so how do you do that? Well, you need glassine paper, and that's what this is here. And glassine paper you can get by the roll. You can usually get it at Amazon. Sometimes some art stores will sell it. Or if you get pastel mat, which I like a lot, the glassine inserts come already included with each piece of paper that you can take out. So that's what I use when most of the time I'll just use this. And then if I run out of that, then I'll use my roll of glassine paper, which is right there. But anyway, you can cover your artwork with glassine paper, and then you can store it. And you can actually stack artwork right on top of each other with no problem, with no damage done. So this is what it looks like. I have taped it on 4 sides here. You can see the masking tape. And I've just taped it to the back here. Right. So pastel mat, it's nice. Pastel mat's very nice. It's a thick, nice, durable paper, so it holds up really well. But this will work on any paper, really. And then what you can do is you can actually stack these on top of each other. So I'm going to go over here to my cupboard. And this is where I store my oil pastel works here. And as you can see, I have them all stacked up here, just kind of sandwiched in between some big books here to kind of keep everything straight. These other ones here are also oil pastel works, but they're in a plastic sleeve. And the reason I was able to put them in a plastic sleeve is because I put a fixative on the surface of these. And so that protected the work. It allowed me to put it into a plastic sleeve without getting oil pastel all over the inside of that plastic. So I'll show you that in a second here, but what I really want to show you is protecting oil pastel work that hasn't been fixed. And so we're going to talk about these guys. So I'm going to pull all these out, or as many if I can. There's a lot in here. Maybe we'll do a section at a time. I want to pull these out and I want to show you guys just how well these are able to store and protect, just like this. All right. Okay, so here we have that stack that I pulled out here. And let's take a look at these. Now, none of these artworks have been have a final fixative on it. All right, so let's take a look and see how well they're protected. I think this one maybe about a year old here, and it's on pastel mat. And so I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape on the back. And I'm using artist tape, which should help with not tearing your paper when you're removing it. I have to use a little razor blade because I bite my fingernails and I really don't have fingernails, so just helps to use a razor blade. And as you see, I only tape it on 4 sides. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at it. All right, now I need to remember which side is the bottom corner. So I'm going to take just a piece of pastel here, and I'm just going to mark an X here because I want to put this right in exact same orientation as I've pulled it off here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, remove this. This is glassine paper. Okay, there's the artwork. Notice on the underneath part of the glassine, I do have a little oil pastel that kind of lifts up, which is normal, but it's not smudging. See, it's not getting smeared around, which is important. So to put this back on, like I don't want to do this, right? I want to put that X back in that same spot. But let's take a look at the artwork. Like I did this in 2020 or 21, so it's at least a year old. Let me touch the surface here, and it's not as sticky as it was, but it's still very movable. Still feels pretty fresh. It's dried up a little bit maybe, but yeah, it's still a little bit sticky in some parts, especially where I put the Senneliers and the Neo Pastels, the more softer, thicker stuff. But yeah, it's held up great. It's in great condition. What I love about oil pastels, it's such a durable medium. I mean, I can literally just bend this. There's no cracking going on. There's no damage to the oil pastel itself or the artwork. So, and this has just been sitting in that drawer, my cupboard over here, for, like I said, a couple years at least, and it's holding up just fine. So let's go ahead and put this back. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that X is in that same corner. And then just put the tape back on it. There. Let's look at some more. Let's look at some that have kind of in the middle of this stack of papers here. Let's just pull one out. Here's one. Okay. Same thing, pastel matte with glassine paper. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, there it is. All right, so this is probably 2019 when I did this painting. No fixative. Yeah, but it feels good. It's actually a little bit of dried up a little bit, but it's still very movable. I can still, if I wanted to, I could really press down and start damaging it, but I'm very happy with how well it's stored. It's looks crisp. Looks like I just did it here. And again, pastel matte is like a light cardboard type, so that's why I like it. It's really thick, durable stuff. It's holding up great. All right, let's go ahead and cover that up. And then we'll open up one more just to make sure. All right, so that one's covered up. Let's find one in here in the middle. There's one. Another one. All right. You see a little bit of oil pastel has picked up on the underside. Totally normal. I expect that to happen. And it still looks nice and fresh. Still a little bit wet and sticky here. This one's a good, I think this is at least 2 years old. I think it's around late 2019 I did this, but yeah, it's very, especially in a tree, it's still a little sticky feels. But yeah, it holds up well. Telling you, oil pastel is a very durable medium, and properly stored, it will last forever. But I recommend getting glassine paper, or wax paper might even do the trick. That's what this kind of feels like. It feels like a wax paper. And it provides like a frictionless surface for the oil pastel artwork to just literally sit directly against. And as long as it's fixed to it, it won't smudge or smear. So I just want to show you guys that. And anyway, if you have questions, I appreciate those. This is a question that's come up, so I wanted to demonstrate that you can definitely You can definitely store your pastels this way, your oil pastels. You can literally stack them right up next to each other as long as there's glassine on each one. All right. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. So back to my little storage cupboard here. So let's pull the ones that I've applied fixative on it that are in these plastic sleeves, and we'll take a look at some of these. Okay, and these are going to be he's going to vary in age from, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, some of these. And so let's just take this first one off. Now these are plastic insert sleeves that you can get at the art store. You can get them online. This piece of artwork is 12 by 16 inches. And so you see it's large enough to fit that. And then it has like a self-adhesive part to it where it kind of glues shut. I'm just gonna open that up. We'll take a look at it here. Now on this, all these have been fixed with a fixative, every single one of these. That's why I'm able to put it into plastic. I would not ever put an oil pastel artwork that hasn't been fixed inside a plastic sleeve, because that's gonna leave a very gooey mess on the inside of the plastic. But once it's fixed, it is solid. And it's really dry. I mean, it's got a really dry surface. And trying to angle it so you can see if there's any kind of gloss. You can kind of see the fixative on it. If I kind of angle it with the light, you can kind of see that sheen. That's that glossiness from the fixative. All right, but totally protected surface. All right, so with that being said, I'm not getting any pigment up. I'm not getting any color up. So it is safe then to go ahead and put it into a plastic sleeve insert for more long-term storage. I will say that the surface does feel a little dry, obviously. And in some parts, it's a little bit flaky, but I was able to get good coverage on this one, so I'm not too worried. And this one's probably a good 4 years old, this artwork right here. Never been framed. It's always just been sitting there. And so I have several of these, literally hundreds. Here's one on a different piece of paper. This one's probably 6 years old, this one right here. It's on a different type of paper. 2017, there we go. Wow, I was smart and actually put a date on it. So 5 years old. And I believe it's on Canson paper. And it's got a fixative on it. It's a nice glossy one. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. It's a little bit sticky to it up here. That's because there's a lot of sennelier up on the top there. All right, but we're still good. Look how much gloss that is. That's using that gloss fixative, and I used quite a bit on this piece because it was real thick in spots. But totally protected. Even up here where there's just straight sennelier texture on here. Still pretty good. And this is on that Canson, which is really thinner paper. You can see the underside. There really is an oil pastel coming up on the other side, maybe a little bit here. Sometimes you get that with oil pastel. You get that oil bleed on the underside of the paper, but I'm not getting that too much here, just a little bit in that one section. All right, it's holding up good. This is made in 2017. Just been stored like that ever since, and holding up just fine. I'm gonna go ahead and put that back in. And you can literally just stack them just like this, just right on top of each other like that. And then eventually you can vertically stack them and then get some heavy books or something heavy to anchor each side of that. And again, I put these in plastic inserts only because each one of these has a final fixative on it. Every single one of them has been fixed. So I would not do this unless I had done that first when it comes to plastic. All right, guys, thanks for watching again. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and store this one. This is a fresh one I did, and I'll show you how I do this. It's a real simple, easy process. So here's my artwork, right? No fixative. And since I used pastel matte, I'm gonna go ahead and use the insert, the glassine insert that comes with each sheet. And there's really no side. Each side is the same. So we're just gonna put that right directly on the surface. Okay, and I'm not gonna move around the paper. I'm just gonna let it sit there. And then I'm gonna get some tape. And this is artist tape. Just grab a little piece. Put one there. Gonna make sure it's covering all the sides here. Looks good there. Down here. Okay. And this side. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fold this over. Secure it there. There we go. Totally protected. Now, I feel totally confident with just putting stuff on there. Remember, I'm not moving the glassine back and forth. I'm not doing this with it. Okay, it's totally secured. And it's going to be protected forever. Now we're going to take this and go to my little cupboard down here and just slide it in with the other ones. There you go, buddy. Just put you down in there. And that's how I do it, guys. And I have a few hundred pieces of artwork in here that have just been storing up over the years. And I'll just take a book out and just keep going. Just keep putting more and more in there and fill this whole thing up. Anyway, easy process. Thanks for watching.